Hey, good morning. This is Dawn Shireen, and this is my podcast, The Delusion is Vast. It is Tuesday morning at 5:40. It is election day in the U.S., um, which means a lot of things and means nothing at the same time. And if anybody's been aware of anything going on in the U.S., we all know that we're divided and that either way that this election goes is not going to help the division in the country. And I hate to say this because, you know, I am a patriotic, proud American, but I really don't think our election process has anything to do with how our country's run anymore. And it's just a power grab. It's just a show. It has no relevance to what is actually happening in the world anymore. And I hate to say that because it was a democratic system. I don't know, that maybe actually never worked for real. But I mean, what choices are there? So, well, I mean, there's choices, and some are worse than others, but they're all pretty bad. And the fact that we as humans are born with such a flawed character that we can't like be good on our own, right? Most of us, a lot of people can't be good on their own. They need to have like some kind of an award system in order to be good. And so, like, full autonomy without government would certainly fail in the United States. It would just become a bloodbath. It would, it'd be very much, I want to say 1984, but that's not the right book. Anyway, the one with all the kids, Lord of the Flies. That's the one, Lord of the Flies. It would become exactly like Lord of the Flies. And, that's not good either unless you're the 1%, right? So I don't really know. I just know that things are falling apart everywhere. It's not just the United States. I mean, of course I'm US centered, so that's like what I focus on, even though I'm not focusing on anything either because everything is just so terrible, right? I mean, when I started this podcast a couple months ago, I was fully fueled on the Diddy escapades and where that was going, and forewarned all of you exactly where it was going to go, and it has. And I'm over it, and I've been over it, and now it's going to be part of our national history forever. And I don't know when it's going to end. I mean, people are still coming forward, things are still happening, trials are still being set. It's deep. I mean, and I have one solution that would end it with a whole lot of money being saved, but I can't utter it because, it's not good, although it could biblically be the correct way to handle the situation. So that, other than that, like, I don't know what to say. I am confused by this world right now. I really don't feel like I have a place in it anymore. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like, I'm hanging on, okay? I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm not gonna quicken my release from this world, okay? But I really feel like odd man out here. So, I'm trying really hard not to focus much on what's going on here on this property anymore, because it seems like if I give it less energy, then it's less bothersome, which of course is absolutely 100% true, right? Anything you give less power to is going to affect you less. So, I mean, that's true. Am I still in danger? Yeah, but not as much as I was in, say, 2 weeks ago before I discovered all the weaknesses. I could only hope I discovered all the weaknesses in this trailer, but discovered a lot of the weaknesses in this trailer and spent quite a bit of money in order to ensure my safety, or at least a large amount of noise if somebody decides that they're going to just break in here to do whatever, okay? Because I'm still not quite sure what the whatever part of hurting me is all about, because it just doesn't make sense. But there's something else to it, and I've alluded to it before. And I just don't know if we've all just gotten super tired of the game, and it's like, well, this is this is really just not going anywhere for any of us. So, and I mean, I did all this work in the background with all these agencies that are going to pop up their heads at the moment that everybody thinks everything is done. And it's going to be really funny because they're going to think that I'm done too. But if I pursued something, I'm not going to not pursue it to the end. So I'm not going to be like, oh, it was really bad then, but maybe. No, it was really bad then. And I filed a report with the Attorney General. It was really bad then. And the report needs to be filed and the report needs to be followed through to the end, whatever that could be. So no, I'm not going to pussy out just because it's getting colder now, and they got away with whatever it was that they thought they got away with it, right? So yay for them, right? Traumatizing me, putting me into it wasn't good. It wasn't good. They fucked with my head. I trusted somebody, they betrayed me. Again, I got betrayed, right? So, and this was somebody I didn't expect to betray me because I felt he was, a fellow veteran of the United States military, and I'm still not quite sure about that now, but now I know that there's absolutely no loyalty anywhere. You can't believe anybody will hold your back, which sucks, but it's better than having the false belief that, people are going to carry you and then don't. Right? I'd rather be fully prepared to take care of myself and then have somebody surprise the shit out of me and actually carry their weight without making a big deal about it. Because that's what I do. Like, I carry my weight. I don't make a big deal about it. I just go ahead and do what I need to do the right thing, continually, always trying to do the next right thing. Try not to cause too much trouble. Try not to disrupt shit too much for people. But then when I do disrupt shit, I disrupt it in a big way. And that's why I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in Flagstaff right now. So if you all ever listen to Dancing with Bipolar, you know that I was part of a local cult under the helm of Sunshine Rescue Mission and Hope Cottage. And, because I came here homeless and I was literally driven here from the hospital and dropped off at Hope Cottage. Like, literally. I had no choice. I was there. And, it was never good. I don't think any shelter is ever good, but it was okay. And then I became a disciple and I saw the evil at work within that organization. And, from the minute I got out from under their control, and I stayed, so they thought I don't know what they actually thought, because once I see it from the other side, I might stay, but I'm not going to be easy to handle, right? I'm not going to be pliable anymore. So I saw a lot of stuff. I heard a lot of stuff. I saw a lot of people take cruises. I saw people go to Ireland. I saw people go to Israel. I saw people do this and that and all the other, with being paid monies from what is supposed to be donations that are supposed to be going in to actually fund the mission and Hope Cottage. Well, the mission has had a catastrophic roof failure, which basically meant, because the roof went down, I'm sure that partial walls came down. I haven't walked by it yet. I'm really curious to do so, to see how bad the damage is, because what they showed in the newspaper was from the third floor, and it was bad. So I can only imagine what the first two floor, where the roof is. I mean, it's collapsed. It's not opening ever again. And in a way, and this sounds kind of awful, right? Because there's a lot of homeless people in town now. There's been a lot of homeless people in town now, but it was masked by the fact that a majority of the people could hang out at the mission in the courtyard and not be legitimately displaced. Whereas now people are just legitimately displaced. They have nowhere to go. Our local shelter system was already screwed before this happened, and now it's just twice as bad. So, but anyway, had people taken less vacations, maybe, had people, had there been less redundancy on the board of employees and board members getting paid, Could they possibly have done a lot of preventive maintenance to prevent the catastrophic building collapse? Yes, I'm positive that they could have done that. But from the moment that they did that whole thing with the maintenance man against me and set everybody up and then started gang stalking me with donations, it was a wrap 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? Has it been 2 years ago? 3 years ago when they set me up in that little situation. Yeah, so, and then he got fired or quit or whatever and blah, 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 blah. And he was the only one who had a clue as to how to hold that place together with, dental floss and bubble gum. And, so when he left, that was a death knell, literally, on the mission. But the fact that the mission is now closed is a huge issue for Flagstaff, in my opinion. And, I always knew there's a lot of homeless. When I was day homeless at Hope Cottage, when they'd throw us out and then let us back in, so all day we'd be nowhere to go, which is just the worst. You get to meet people, right? And you see it, and you see the sub communities and the sub areas where people stay, right? There's a lot of homeless in Flagstaff. And I don't know why this is a place to come, especially in winter. This is not the place to be right now. This you do not want to be homeless in Flagstaff right now. It's wet, it's cold, it's just windy, it's all bad. And yet people still are inclined to come here, and I don't know. So and then Waltz came this weekend to do I think they used to call them a whistle stop when they used to do it on the trains, but and ironically, there's a whole bunch of the homeless people holding signs behind him because, well, why not? You're going to get paid to hold a sign, and it doesn't matter who you support because more than likely you can't vote because you don't have an ID, because you've been homeless for so long, you've lost everything, has been stolen. And why not hold a sign for $100 or $20 or a taco or whatever, right? I would have if I were homeless. I was morbidly interested to go there and check that scene out, but I did not because I also didn't. I just there's a feeling of unease I get now when I go outside, and it's it's not me. Of course I feel uneasy inside. But there's this sense of unease outside, a real, a dark cloud over everything. And I don't really want to participate in that kind of energy, right? I don't want to be around people that are uneasy. Okay. I don't want to be around people who are scared. That's kind of why when I was in my thing, I stayed away from people. I didn't need to put my energy on other people. If it's not a healthy energy, don't share it if you can avoid it, right? In a huge way, with a therapist, a friend, whatever, me to you, right? That's different. But in a general way, to just go and Debbie Downer a whole situation, don't. The world's already screwed up enough, right? And on top of it, I can promise you that most people don't give a fuck anyway. And this is the thing that's been carrying me through. I've been quiet this whole time. I feel like I've been insane because I've been a little insane in my head, the scenarios and everything. But I haven't been running around outside in a dress with rain boots, clapping tambourine and making a huge scene about what is going on. I've not done that. So my impression that everybody thinks I'm a lunatic is probably really inaccurate because that's not what I've presented. I've presented somebody coming in and out of their house as quick as possible, in and out. And that's pretty much it. I've not spoken to anybody personally about this. My people that are paid to help me, my case manager and them, that haven't helped me at all and are now fired. But other than that, it's been pretty chill. I mean, yeah, I yelled at somebody through the wall the other day, which I think was the wrong person, and I kind of feel bad, but in a way I kind of feel it was kind of funny and necessary, and maybe actually got the point to the person it needs to get to, that this is a much bigger issue than me not liking somebody. This is like my life has a threat on it. And I've had to go about things differently, and I've had to pay my rent differently now, and I have to send it certified, even though before I could just walk across the yard and hand it to him. Now I have to pay $10 to make sure that it gets delivered to him from somebody else, that they can record that it got delivered, and then, right, because there's been no boundaries here, and I'll pay for boundaries. I'm okay with that. $10 so I don't have to deal with him, the stalker dude, or even the landlord now, because I can't trust him either because he lied to me. Right? So this is my life. And I don't even know how we got here. I don't know. So we came from the election to this. So will the election fix this problem? No, absolutely not. Will the election fix the homeless problem in Flagstaff? No. In fact, it may just make it worse, truthfully. Is the election going to help anything? No, actually, I really don't think it's going to help anything. I think everything is just so far gone. Like, you know what the best thing could be that happens at this election? That there's a tie. A dead tie. A dead tie. That is the best possible scenario that could happen. Other than that, I don't know what to say. I really don't. I'm so confused. And, I'm not afraid to say that. I really am. I'm confused by this world. I'm going to be 60, right? And that sounds old. But let me tell y'all, if you start just breaking your life down into 20-year subsections of, like, the first 20 years, you have no fucking clue. You're a neophyte. You're going, you got no clue, okay? 20 to 40, you got a clue, all right? You fucked up a whole hell of a lot. You kind of know what you don't want, and you don't know how to get what you want, but you have a better idea of, like, where you stand in the picture. 40 to 60, kind of like power years here. This is like where I fucking got my feet on the ground and was like, wait a minute, all this shit that happened to me back then, okay, that has nothing to do with who I am now. So, like, 60 to 80, because I'm planning to live to be at least 120. So, like, I'm there, right? So if I'm thinking this is 40 to 60 as power years now because I'm in it, when I'm 80 to 100, what am I going to think then? Like, these are like neophyte years again, right? Because it's all about learning, always, always learning. So anyway, that's kind of the gist. I just want everybody to know that, giving up is a really bad option. I mean, sometimes you have to. Okay, let me say this. Giving up permanently is a really bad option. Okay, stepping back to reevaluate a situation in order to get a more sure foot in what you're doing is a good idea. Okay, retreat is not surrender. Okay, and just remember, we can all do better, right? The more you know, the better you can do. Be grateful every day, because you never know. And just always keep on doing the next right thing, because that's the only way that you can assure that you're going to be okay. And this went longer than I thought, so I actually rambled on for a minute. Okay, so I'm going to let this go. I love all y'all. Hope you're all okay. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give in. And if you have to retreat to lick your wounds and come back out more powerful, that's okay. Do so. Okay, from Election Day 2024. This is Dawn Shreen. This is my podcast, The Delusion is Vast. And hey, let's all stay alive, okay? Later.